Pro Saints Talk podcast presented by Boot Crew Media.
All right, what's up, Rons? Welcome back to Pro Saints Talk. We got a good episode for y'all today. We're going to get into a couple things, especially Warford cutting, the big news or the actual news of the day. But before we get into that, I want to let y'all know what's going on over here. Our guys, Justin and Ross, have started up a little something. We got a little podcast family going. We got a couple of people on here with us now. We got my main man, Mr. Happy Hour, Campanella Kent. It's my quarterback. It's my quarterback. It's my quarterback. But it's my man from high school. We've been knowing him for a long time. He's funny. He's gonna introduce y'all to some drinks. But then we got the LSU boys with no chance of rain, breaking down anything LSU you want to know about. We even got the old hometown Tulane Green Wave signed on. We have Breaking Wave, a new one. And then our resident foodie, Gorman Girl. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I haven't been introduced yet. So that's what we're going with for now. And then of course, we got the OGs, the originals, me, Justin, and Ross over on Pro Pellets Talk. But it's interesting what we got going on now. You know, we've been doing this for fun for a couple of months, and all of a sudden, Juice and Ross have spearheaded some type of business venture going on here. But yeah, man, all of these podcasts are great. If y'all want to listen to them, please check them out. Google it, figure it out.
Give it a goog. Yeah.
Give it a goog. All right. You ready to talk about these Saints, bruh?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's get into it.
All right, let's hit the new music.
Every play like it's the most important play of the game. Harris still going. And what a catch by Thomas. On 3rd and 2 goes deep. Touchdown for the Saints.
All right. New Music Tuesday over here, I guess. We're going legit now, so I guess we couldn't have any copyright infringements with the songs that we've been using nowadays. But welcome back, everybody. Episode 2 of the new guys over here. Just trying to have fun. Just trying to have fun. Rod Guy, what's up, brother? How we doing today?
Oh, not a whole lot, man. Just hanging out, trying to stay COVID-free, per usual. Staying masked up and gassed up,
So you rolling with the mask out in public? Are you in the car mask out?
No. I mean, like,
you're
in
not
the
in the
grocery
car?
store, yeah, but like, no, not like in the car, not outside, walking the dog or anything, just strictly when I'm going into some place.
Yeah, I got berated by somebody I work with the other day for not wearing a mask, and it made me feel really bad. And I guess I should start wearing one when I'm around. Like at work, I wear it when I go to Lowe's like every day. Every goddamn day I go to Lowe's, and it's just I don't know, man. It stinks. But anyway,
not the best.
That's enough COVID. Other than the fact that I guess we're opening stuff back up this weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited about that for sure.
We got LaToya. I don't know. I think I'm like scared to go out and be a 25%er. I don't know.
I'm gonna just chill on that for a second.
We'll just hang out for a bit. I'm just so excited. I'm ready to go, man. Like I'm ready to be I'm ready to belly up. I'm ready to belly up to a bar and forget the day, rather than just being overserved at the house by myself.
I agree. We're actually leaving town for the weekend, going to Gulf Shores. So that should be interesting.
Lovely. Get some rays. Y'all bringing the pup?
Yeah, bringing the pup. So
bringing the pup. Okay.
Should be a fun time.
That's awesome, man. That's good. All right. Yeah. Well, let's talk some football, huh?
Yeah, let's go.
So the question last episode mainly was, what the hell? Apparently I say shit too much, according to some people.
According to a couple people, yeah.
So I'm trying to censor myself out in Kenner, bro. Yeah. 007 out there.
007. Yep, absolutely.
But so we were trying to break down. Basically, the main question of last week was, what are we going to do on the offensive line? We got a first round pick in Ruiz. But Ruiz. Bad Boys 2 reference. But anyway. It's bad when you got to explain a joke. I think you do. Anyway. Yeah, so question of the day was, what the hell are we going to do on the offensive line? Well, we kind of got that answer.
Yeah, I think we do.
We made the big cut and cutting Warford here. What do you think was, other than obviously drafting him, but like, what do you think was the main reason for him getting cut?
I mean, honestly, it seemed like Sean Payton was not very happy with Larry Warford last year as far as the weight that he was at, the weight that he came into camp at, and that he was at all season. And so a lot of people, there was a lot of whispers, that people were very unhappy with his performance throughout the year,
Yeah. So in hindsight, it also, like, a lot of this makes you think, like, is the Pro Bowl a joke? Like,
well, yeah, absolutely.
Like, you got guys that make the Pro Bowl and they get cut, like, immediately after making the Pro Bowl. And it's not like they're making huge money.
Yeah.
And you got Warford was making, I think he was on the books for like $9 million or something like that.
Right.
Took what did we take off? $7 million off the cap by cutting him. So we don't really have any dead money with him. So it's a good move, with the draft pick. But yeah, he I guess that's got to be it, man. It's just everybody wasn't happy in house with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously they tried to shop him, tried to trade him, during the draft. I think that was probably something that was going on. But, like I said, the way he ended the year last year was pretty brutal. That Vikings game, the tape wasn't good for, a lot of the line. But
yeah, we got worked in the Vikings game.
Yeah,
that's a rough example. But yeah, no, he at the end of the year, I mean, yeah, it was almost like a steady decline for him.
Yeah.
Like when you watch it, when you watch it again, it got worse. And again, that's got to come back to the condition that he was in, weight wise, physically. Like, you're not going to get better as the season goes on and you get your ass beat, in the trenches.
Yeah, so, and see, what's interesting to me though is in Sean Payton's interview, he kind of called Larry Warford out even and said, Larry's going to have to compete. So I'm very curious, like, what changed in between, that interview and now, unless we were just trying to actively shop him at that time and Sean Payton didn't want to totally roll him under the bus,
Right. You're going to talk a player up until you get him off the team.
Right, exactly. You can't really bash him.
Right. He's going to be on your team. You're still his coach. He's still on your team. You want morale to be up, unless you're like actively, calling a player out that will respond well to the criticism, which it takes a special type of player to respond well to a public call out like that,
For sure.
Like that's basically like a star player that just had a down game and the coach is being like, hey, step it up. Like that's not like the thing that you would do to an offensive lineman in that situation. But yeah, you're gonna talk him up till you get rid of him. And especially that, saying that even if the line passes to where I guess was there a line to cut him where it would save us money? Like if we would have cut him before a certain date.
I don't think it was like a post June 1st cut or anything like that.
Right. Okay. So that's the thing. At the time, they probably thought that they would keep him on and continue to shop him, and you don't want a guy to slack off, so you want to keep him
absolutely,
showing that his nose is still in the books, watching film or anything while you're shopping this guy, anything to make him seem better, to make another team want him, like, yeah, that's what a trade is. Like, a trade is, you think that you're getting rid of a player and to getting somebody who's going to improve you or your team, so it's almost, it's like what is it, like trade rape in fantasy, always trying to, maybe that's not good verbiage nowadays, but whatever. But you're always looking to get one over on another guy, and that's like, you see it too, like in the draft, like when you're trading draft picks, just baiting them. Just baiting them in. It's like, oh, we're gonna pick this guy, so if you want him, you need to move ahead of us. So give me what you got for a pork chop. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the Patriots are like the king of that. Yeah.
Oh my God! They just stockpile draft picks all decade.
Right, like they'll move back anytime. Doesn't matter to them.
I mean, it's the master plan over there, the Emperor, man, Bill.
Yeah.
He's got some type of plan. It's crazy. Yeah, he's got some type of plan. It's great. I mean, they have. I think that by next year, I mean, they'll have a firm package to move up and look at Trevor Lawrence. Legitimately.
Yeah, I know. Gary.
Yeah, it's. I mean, is it though? Like, I don't know. Because you look, Tom Brady was you know those conversations where it's like a coach, like does a coach make a player or a player make a coach?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's basically the conversation that they're having this offseason with them two, you know.
Yeah, we'll find
as
out.
they're going. Yeah, we really will find out. But I don't think that's really fair. I also think it's like unfair to Belichick because Brady's going to Bruce Arians, who's a good coach.
Yeah,
you know, and then Belichick's getting stuck with Stidham. Like
that is a good point. That's a good point. Also, like all the weapons that Brady's getting to in the process, like he's just going to be surrounded by guys now. You know.
Yeah. If Belichick goes 8-8, kudos, sir.
Right. Exactly.
Kudos, sir.
Yeah,
I would be thrilled with 8-8 if I was Bill Belichick at this point.
Right. Yeah, I think the parameters are a little different for each of them, you know, what success will be this year, you know. But
yeah, it's a little unfair to old Bill over there, which is like something I never thought I would ever say.
I know, right?
Him.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a bad rap in this conversation, bro. Shut up.
Yeah.
All right. What the hell are we talking about? Warford.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah. So
we went off.
I mean, I think like, you know, obviously we had a log jam there, and so something had to happen. Something had to give, especially when Sean Payton said we didn't draft this guy where we drafted him for him to not start, you know.
Right.
I think at that point it was kind of clear Larry's days were numbered, you know, whether it was in camp or whatever. You know, I thought maybe they would try to, you know, have him stick around for a little bit longer if they could get him, you know, into camp at least, you know, a preseason game or two, and then they maybe could have traded him. But you know, I think
but with the unsurety of the season, you know,
exactly. And I think like just getting it done now just creates the continuity that you're going to need on the offensive line going forward, because you know better than anyone, like it's what you need on the offensive line, right?
Yeah, you need that's like it's the biggest unit I think on a football team. Now, like they'll have like, you know, like defensive line, offensive, like they'll all hang out, but like defensive line, I feel, and defense hang out, you know, like, but when you like offensive line and maybe the quarterback, like every now and then I'll hang out. Like offensive line is like it seems like a closer position because you're working as one unit.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's going, you know, to one thing, one goal, to open that one hole, to keep that one guy from, you know, and it's just everybody works together in such. You have to have it's like a dance almost.
Absolutely.
And you know, defense is just a little different in the mindset of, yeah, you're working together, but it's more of an individual basis, as the sense like, you know, a defensive tackle, the majority of his job really is to clear the lineman for the linebacker to make the tackle.
Right.
So like, there's no real glory. Obviously, there's no real glory on the line, you know, but it's more of an individual thing. But the offensive line, it's almost like I used to describe it as a wave.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, everything crashes to where it needs to go.
Yeah, you got to understand what the guy on the left and right of you.
You got to understand what everybody's doing.
Right.
You got to understand what every single person is doing on the line. Because you have to know who's got which guy at all times.
Right.
Because as a defense changes, you know, like if they make a shift as you know, you're in the last cadence about to call snap, you have to know that you have this middle linebacker, this guy has this Sam, or this guy has this Willie on this side, or the nose tackle. So if they make a shift, you automatically, without having to make a call, have to know that. So even like these guys, like you have, even, you know, how they have like the guys that'll say like, oh, he's our captain of the line, like our center, he makes the calls. It's like that offensive tackle down at the end also knows that shit too, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And it's just, everybody has to know everything. And that's why you see these guys able to play guard for one quarter, then move to tackle, or, you know, and to be able to move around, because you just have to know everything. But yeah, and so to get the line set as early as possible is probably one of the biggest things that you can do in football.
Absolutely.
Because it all starts right there.
I agree.
So it's just that you're right. That's a big thing to do, and to just have it done and to know like, all right, this is what we got moving forward.
Yeah.
Fucking head down. Let's do it. You know, like that. This is what we're doing.
I think I'm most curious just to see how it's going to shake out, because I mean, I think you're still paying Easton a good bit of money, you know.
Okay, so I was about to ask that. Like, what do you think that since we cut Warford, do you think we keep him now with that contract as a backup? Because we still have $9 million of cap space right now. And we have
Right.
88 players. We have 88 players and 9 million in cap space. So got a lot to play with here. So
Right.
do you keep the veteran guy on that's been around now, even with that contract? Like,
I think you
it could be
do.
worth it. Yeah.
I think you do, just because he has position versatility. You know, he can play
Right.
center and he can play guard. I mean, just like all these guys, really, McCoy, Ruiz, you know. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to shake out. If you listen to Ruiz talk, you know, in any interview, really, he states pretty explicitly that he's a center. He sees himself as a center, you know.
Right.
So, and like you said earlier, I mean, in the last podcast, you know, he seems like a very smart guy. You know, he made all the calls for them and obviously didn't screw up very often, right? So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. Is McCoy a natural fit at guard? I'm not really sure. You know.
Well, didn't we go? I mean, this is a really good problem to have.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
It's
it's like
not
one
a
of
bad
the, you know,
problem. Yeah,
right. But didn't we go into last year thinking that didn't McCoy play some guard last year?
No.
Like, no, he didn't at all. I thought like
he played some. I think he played some in college.
Okay.
So he does have.
So it was kind of. I guess it was kind of the same conversation we were having last year at this time with what are we going to do with this guy?
Yeah.
And then he ended up just taking over the center position. But yeah, like I said, it's a good problem to have, man. Shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So right, exactly. So we got smart guys on the line. Like I said, everything starts up front. So, and especially with an aging, I'm not going to say aging quarterback, aging quarterback. You know,
a short quarterback also. Yeah.
Also a short quarterback. You're right. Yeah. So you need to open those lanes for him.
Right.
For sure. All right. Well, that's all I got to say on him. How you feel about that?
Yeah,
good?
no, I think it's good. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So other than Warford, you know, we got a whole gang of undrafted free agents we brought in. Rookie guys from all over the place. And I think we got 13 of them total.
Yeah.
So we got 13 of them total. We got a couple guys we gave some guaranteed money to, and one guy who we gave, which I'm looking at here, is the second highest guaranteed for an undrafted free agent in the league. It's Joe. How do we say this? Bocci? Bocci? I'm not going to say this.
Yeah, I think it's Bocci.
And Bocci from Mississippi. I'm on a roll. Michigan State. What you got to say about him, brother? You're the one with all the notes on these undrafted free agent guys. You're the reason I got you on this podcast.
So, you know, he's a guy who I would say who is like a limited athlete, you know, did pretty well in college, you know.
Strong white guy?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
there we go.
Right. Exactly. You know, I think he had 8.5 tackles for loss in each of his final 3 seasons. You know, he's just steady, like a steady type of guy. You know, he kind of reminds me of like Shanley a little bit or something. You know? I mean, to be honest, like, so let's go through the list of some of these guys, right? So we have Marquez Callaway from Tennessee, wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Seems like, you know, from watching a little bit of his film, plays pretty well, you know, above the rim, you know, goes up for the ball.
Yeah.
He, you know, it didn't seem like he really had many opportunities at Tennessee. I don't know really why. I didn't really dive that deep into why that is.
Playing in the SEC, not a great offense. You're going up against dominant defenses. You know, it's a rough go if you're on a quarterback in the SEC, man.
Absolutely. I would say like one of the more interesting signings, in my opinion, was offensive lineman Calvin Throckmorton from Oregon. It says here that we gave him a fully guaranteed base salary of $110,000 and a $12,500 signing bonus. But when I kind of dove a little bit deeper into, you know, this guy, it seemed like he is not a great athlete by any means, shape, or form. Like he's huge, you know, 6'5", 317. I guess he has kind of short arms, 32.5-inch arms. But
wait, hold on, 32.5-inch. That means like around, like pythons, like Are they talking about wingspan or?
No, I think they're talking about length. It's referring
Like
to
short.
length.
Oh, okay. Because I thought they do like wingspan where they
They
hold it out.
do that.
Like,
they do that as well.
Oh,
So they do like an arm length thing also.
okay. All right. 32 inches around would be huge.
No, that would be massive. Fucking to imagine that.
Hulk Hogan had 22-inch pythons. Jeez, a whole 10 inches on there?
Could you imagine
Lord.
that?
No, I don't think I could.
Like football players would be walking around. Yeah, that'd be insane. But no, I mean that's relatively short though for an offensive lineman, especially for a tackle. I guess like more elite arms, we're talking like 34 inches.
Oh yeah, you want some pterodactyl wings on the outside,
right? It makes a difference, when you're trying to get there first, right? I don't know. He kind of worked his way up a little bit. I guess they had him, at the East-West Shrine game. He was invited to that, and then I guess he did well enough there to get an invite to the Senior Bowl. Again, I think one thing, just from hearing him talk a little bit is he has versatility. So it's like you'll see the theme throughout some of these offensive linemen. It seems like all of them really, they can play multiple positions. Just like we referred to earlier, it's pretty important nowadays to be able to play every position on the offensive line.
Yeah, man,
you're trying to make a squad. It's pretty important.
I mean, if you're not a starter, like a firm starter on the offensive line in the NFL,
right?
If you don't learn other positions, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to keep you around. They don't they don't care. You need to learn those other positions. You need to play at least 2 positions if you're a backup. It does them no good, especially with how many like the skill guys they're keeping now around. Like it's they trim the fat, for lack of better words. Like
so true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess there's another guy too, out of Northern Illinois, Jordan Steckler. He plays both tackle and guard. Again, they gave him some guaranteed money, $90,000 guaranteed, but it's kind of the same story. It seems like as far as his athleticism goes, and same with his arm length. I think it's just kind of just hoping these guys can, develop.
Yeah, that's all they are nowadays. Because if you're not getting, surefire offensive linemen in the first couple of rounds, they're all pretty much development at that point. It's do they have it or not? Like you look at the guy like when we drafted Ramczyk, he had it. Like these guys have it or they don't most of the time when they come out. Now, I mean, and looking further back when we drafted Armstead, he was even a project. He was he was considered a project, but he started out the gate. He was fantastic out the gates, but yeah, these undrafted linemen. It's really swing or miss. It's really swing or miss with them.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Clapp, for example. I'm sure a lot of people didn't think that Clapp was going to stick around at all. And
played out.
He just clung to a roster. Just because he was able to play every position on the line. It's something
every position.
Right, it goes a long way. So I would say 2 guys that I'm like really excited about, though. I think that actually do have a pretty legitimate shot at making the roster, just based on where they're positioned. And the fact that it seems like they can kind of play is defensive tackle Malcolm Roach from Texas, University of Texas.
Okay.
Listed at 6'2", 297 pounds. Ran a 40 and 4.84 seconds, right?
Hey-o.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's athletic,
He's
not the biggest dude, he kind of, if I were to make a comparison, I'm not going to, obviously don't crush me for this. Like, he's not Aaron Donald, obviously, but, same sort of mold.
In that build, kind of.
Yeah, that build. A little bit smaller guy, but athletic. He can play defensive end as well as defensive tackle. So I think he has a good shot there as well because, again, versatility is a good thing.
Always.
But
who's your other guy?
Other guy would be Juwan Johnson originally from Penn State. And I guess he was a redshirted his freshman year, started his sophomore season, had a decent season. And then I guess his junior year ended up hurt and ended up transferring to Oregon for his senior year, where he kind of got hurt there as well.
Oh, yeah.
And only played in 6 games. I think he had 30 grabs for 467 yards. which is like 15.6 yard average, 4 touchdowns. But the thing that's very intriguing about him is his size and speed.
I was about to say, he's big.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 230, 34.25-inch arms and 10.5-inch hands. I think those are the longest arms for a wide receiver at the combine, the biggest wingspan, and the biggest hands among all the receivers at the combine. So I think, he ran a 4.58 at that size. I mean, I think you're just kind of going off of traits at this point, really, just hoping that he could turn into something. He's 23 years old, so I think he's like a little bit more mature. He was a redshirt senior. So, I mean, I think he has a good chance at cracking the roster,
Yeah, it's always iffy with those big guys, though. And I'm not saying this is a knock on them by any means, but these big guys that run these fast 40s normally are shit route runners. So, it's just like also these 40s, man, they're not. I've always had a problem with this. I've always had a problem with the 40, and it does mean something in straight line, straight line breakaway, but like football speed is completely different.
Yeah.
You also have pads on, you're weighted, you're making cuts. That's why I like these, like the 3-cone drill. Like I think that says more to me. Because that says more about stopping and acceleration and getting to a certain point and doing like that. But yeah, I looked at this guy the other day and I saw that, he had that injury. He's only played 6 games, but he's a big guy. And the fact that he can come in and maybe fight for that 4th or 5th spot.
Absolutely.
Like not too much pressure there. Also, like who the hell is going to be those spots anyway?
I know that's the thing. It's not that deep there, right? And
we're very, very shallow at wide receiver right now. So fight for that spot. I mean, hell yeah, man. I'd love to see that big kid in the slot.
I mean, well, you talk about like 3-cone and stuff also, but same, like he crushed that too, 6.94 seconds, for a guy that size is
that's good. Okay.
Pretty solid, man.
That's what I was saying.
A broad jump of 124 inches, like he's pretty explosive, man. It's
right. Well, I mean, you look at him, he's explosive. He's jacked.
Right. It's just
can
he
that's
stay
what I'm
healthy
saying.
is the question.
Yeah, that too. And that's what I was saying. Like, I haven't seen enough on this guy to know, is he a good route runner? But history shows, these big explosive guys, unless they're running, 4 verticals, like on Madden or, it's just a straight post and go or something like that. Like it's rough for him out there, and especially going. I mean, he played in Oregon. What is that? The Pac-12?
Yeah, whatever they call that.
Whatever it is. Well, they normally have good defensive back play there. So he's seen some people, and then he can also play at Penn State. Yeah, so we'll see. No, yeah, that's a good call, man. I mean, I was talking about that Bocce guy. I think that just solely because of our need at linebacker that I see him probably making the team. But then my other guy was him from Oregon. So
I mean, I think like any of these guys, either way, also it's like they're going to have to contribute on special teams. So like this guy, he may have never done that ever, at Penn State or Oregon. So chances are, he's going to have to learn that and make the team that way before anything else.
Yeah, he looks like a guy that's never had to do, special teams. Like in high school, he probably dominated. Never had to, unless he was that freak that could just block every punt. But.
Right.
That's not where he's going to be on that in the NFL. But yeah, well, we got any more guys? I know we got 13 of them. We got a hell of a lot of them.
There's some more, but I think those are definitely the guys worth naming for right now.
Maybe have some surprises later.
Yeah, I mean, there's another guy. Maybe
it's just going to be so hard for him to make the team this year.
I know, right? That's the thing. Like, I don't want to like go too deep on any of these guys because it's like. We're so deep. Like we even brought in a punter, and looks like
Morstead's not going anywhere.
It looks like he's pretty good, but I don't think Thomas Morstead's going anywhere anytime soon.
So, he's still booting the hell out the ball.
I would say one thing. I mean, obviously, hometown guy Adrian McGee from LSU. He signed with the Saints. most famous for the double pancake move against
Oh
Vanderbilt
yes,
this year.
yes.
Yeah. So
He hit the hell out of that guy.
He is a big boy. I think he's like listed at like 6'5", 330 something. You know, he's a big kid. So I don't know.
Oh,
That
man,
should be a fun
I always
follow.
hope that they had that like queued up in the locker room for him to just watch over and over again after that Vandy game. I mean, they put such big meat on him. That was like the only good thing to take from it. Was that
I know,
double
right?
whammy. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm also like this kid Callaway from Tennessee. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe could be something there too. You know, he looks like another guy. So it's man. I just want football to happen.
Yeah, see, I think this is like we were talking about before with, you know, in a comparison. So you compare Marquez Callaway and Juwan Johnson. Callaway, you know, returned punts in college, so he has some experience on special teams. You know, so that could give him the edge. You know, for all we know.
Well, we got our guy, man.
Yeah, that's true. But you're always looking for for backups. You're looking for guys that can do a lot of different
somebody
things.
who can do it. Yeah,
right. You know, say our guy, Deontay Harris gets hurt. You know, and you need somebody. There you go.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. Bang bang.
All right. Well, you want to have some fun now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a little bit of fun here. So our guy, producer Pete, is our guy behind the scenes. Gives us some ideas here and there. Shout out to our guy. He gave us a good idea here. We got a couple holes in the roster. You know, holes we need to fill to really solidify that we are a Super Bowl caliber team. Mm-hmm. Now, what I want to do is I want you to think about players on our Super Bowl team of in 09, anybody from that team, and just cherry pick a guy or two from that team and put him on the team now.
Okay.
And who would help us win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Who are you going to go with?
You go first. So give me a second to think about it.
Jeff Charleston.
Jeff Charleston, huh?
The Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah. That's right.
No. I've just R.I.P. to Jerry. Had there was the way that he would call Jeff Charleston's name in the dome is just, goddamn it, it's all time. It's just like Jeff Charleston on the tackle. Just fantastic. Let's double down on Jerry real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
Reggie McAllister. Do you remember that?
Oh, of course I do. Reggie McAllister on the Gary.
Towards the end of his days, he would slip up, and the best part is that towards the very end, when Jerry would slip up, he would correct himself. Just didn't care. It's like, just man, no, that was not right. And but anyway, but yeah, when he called Reggie McAllister on the carry, I think you could hear the dome laugh when he said that. But anyway, no, Jeff Charleston is not my choice. But my choice, honestly, it seems easy to say, but it's Scott Fajita.
Oh man,
I like, man, Fajita. We need that other guy next to DeMario. You know, like
yeah.
We need that guy there, and like and he was solid every game.
He was, man.
So Scott, I think Scott at that next. I mean, it's basically Vilma and Fajita. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, when you think about it that way, like we got our new Vilma, and if we can get another Fajita, I think we're in it. It's our little,
Not to mention, he's such a good guy, He's just so good for the community. He was so good for, like, the rebuilding of New Orleans, He was just such a good spokesperson for the city. Man, that's a great pick.
He came from the Cowboys, too.
Right, exactly. But he just kind of fell in love with the city.
Made the right choice.
Right.
Made the right choice.
Right.
But yeah, Scott Fajita is my guy. I also have another one, which... that I wrote him down just because I thought it would help shore up, because I just can't stand Pete. Jari Evans.
Oh man. Yeah.
If we could have Jari Evans back at guard, I mean,
Right.
and as good as I think that our offensive line is now,
Right.
I think that would and Jari Evans 09 would be amazing to have back. I mean, him and Carl Nicks just dominated people.
Right.
Dominated people.
Absolutely. Mauled.
And so like I think if we could have Jari Evans on the other side and just like say like, Pete, just go do your thing, you know, like we'll figure it out from here and have him back. Right. I think that line would be I would, I'll say it, maybe one of the best ever. Maybe.
That offensive line? Yeah.
That offensive line. With Teron Armstead, Jari Evans, you got McCoy or Ruiz at center.
Yeah.
Or guard, whichever, flippy floppity.
Yeah.
And then Bramcheck on the right. You kidding me?
That'd be pretty
Drew's jersey would be white every game. In the mud. It would be white.
Pushing people around. Yeah, no question about it. Yeah.
All
that would be awesome.
Your turn.
Well, speaking of like offensive lineman, my first thought originally was like leaning towards Carl Nicks because like you said, like, man, those two guards together, that was just something to watch, man. But more started thinking about it, obviously, as you're going through that. I think I'm gonna make a controversial pick, to say the least here. I might get some hate for this take, but I think honestly, if we had Darren Sharper on this team, we could win another Super Bowl, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think he would tie this team together in a way that Marcus Williams never could. That he dreams he could. Let's just take a look for a second. At the numbers just in the 1 year. 2009, right? 71 tackles, 15 passes defense, 9 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 3 touchdowns. One of them was a 99-yard touchdown return.
Yeah.
He brought a swagger to the defense that, I don't know. I don't think we've had since then, really. I mean, I don't know. Do you remember that game against the Pats in 2009?
Oh, yeah.
He just completely knocked Kevin Falk to the fucking moon, Like, he set the tone for that game.
Did he have 2 picks that game, I think? Yeah, one return for a touchdown. I know one was returned for a touchdown that game. Because I was with my uncle. I was with my uncle. That was one of the games where I learned how to sneak in booze into the Superdome.
Oh, nice.
The waistband Ziploc trick. He was the one that taught me that. Because he was passed out drunk when Darren Sharper returned a touchdown.
Right.
I remember when he was running, I remember going to slap him, and he was just in the seat, passed out drunk.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway, yeah, man, that's a good one. The only reason I would argue that is because we signed Malcolm Jenkins this year.
Yeah, but I think you have those dudes are would play different positions, so you could still have.
You're right.
They could be on the field at the same time. You'd have Darren at free.
Yeah, guys. Well, wait, I thought Darren played more strong.
No, he was free.
He was more free. Okay.
He was free. That's how he made that's how he's making all them plays, man.
Ta-da!
Ball hawking.
Hey, well, Darren Sharper, man.
Controversial. Think about that.
I shook that dude's hand.
How many times he just like turned the momentum of a game or something, like just boom with a pick, run it back. It just felt like it was going to happen sooner or later,
I mean, he was next level in the city after that season. Right? He'd go anywhere, like he made plays everywhere. I mean, we hung out with him at the booth in the fake quote unquote VIP section.
Yeah.
Like shook his hand.
Yeah.
Multiple times. Shared a drink with him. Yeah. Little did I know.
Little did we know.
He's going back. Oh man, no, we're not going to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, let's not get into
it. We're not going to get into that. But anyway, no, football-wise. No, we're not. Football-wise, that's that season that he had in 2009 was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, especially because it was like, what? I think like it's like, I don't know, 12
He was been in the league for a while.
Yeah, it was like his 12th season or something like that. That's insane production for that.
Didn't he play with Mike McKenzie in Green Bay?
Yeah.
And then they both came over here.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Money Mike. Man. Ah, good times.
Yeah.
Good times. 09.
Best times. Best
Good
times.
times. Good times. I really want another parade, man.
Yeah.
We need another Super Bowl. We need another
one.
Super Bowl.
Don't worry about it. We'll get one.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Maybe not with Drew, but we'll get one.
The window is closing.
So I can keep going.
Yeah. So, speaking of, all this stuff and breaking down who's going to make the team, who's not going to make the team of these guys. I mean, if we don't even know if the season's going to happen, what's going to, what? I know we're starting to open stuff up now. We got our Cantrell doing whatever the hell she's doing over there. I mean, the way that she's talking, even bringing up Mardi Gras next year is it's reckless, but
yeah,
it just makes me question what's going to happen with football season, and especially now hearing that, I know this doesn't really correlate too much with the NFL, but the NCAA saying that they're leaving all of this up basically to the states.
Yeah.
So they're saying LA's stay at home till August at least. So they're not going to have any practices. I don't see USC playing football anytime soon,
Right.
But if they let it go to where so certain states are going to open up, so LSU could be playing, but Georgia could not. Well, Georgia's not a good option. They're big dummies over there. But somebody on LSU schedule or somebody on anybody's schedule, that's just an open date now. But that doesn't correlate to the NFL. But I don't see it.
Well,
I mean, maybe it does actually.
I think it does. I think it does because
because of LA.
From what Goodell said recently, when they said that we're not allowed to, or teams were not allowed to, have off-season activities and stuff like that. Yeah. He claimed at that point in time that the only time they weren't going to reopen everything for every team until every city could reopen. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't going to let players into the facilities until all 32 NFL cities had reopened. I mean, I don't know if he's going to have to rethink that sort of, or the NFL is going to have to rethink that, or what. But yeah, if that's the case, then chances are we're not seeing any games this year live.
Well, I guess that's another thing. I guess maybe they just start to push it back the start of the season.
Right.
That's the only thing. I mean, I don't see them as the NFL. They're pushing for another game. I don't see them trying to, go 6, less games this year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if anything, they'll just try to push it back. So you're right. It does correlate. And the fact that, LA did all this and not LA, California has now pushed it back, late. I mean, you got 2 teams in California,
Yeah.
Luckily, the Raiders got out, I guess. They went to the petri dish of Las Vegas. Oh, that bear is insane. But, yeah, so it does, man. I just, so would you start the season with no fans?
If I was the NFL?
Yes.
If my other option was not having the season, then yeah. I mean, just based off the TV revenue that they make.
Right. Well, that was going to be my point. The TV money, you can't pass that up. That's where it comes from.
That's where most of their money comes from, their TV money. So of course, I think they're beholden to that,
But I don't see the NFL being hey, even if there's an option to start the season on the start date, fans or no fans, I think they do it. Even if there's a slight light at the end of week 6 where fans can be let back in, I don't see them being oh, we'll delay it for the fans.
I agree with that.
We're going to start now.
I agree. Yeah, they have a lot of money invested,
Right. There's too much money to lose by not putting some on TV.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, dude, and just think the ratings are going to be out of friggin' control. Exactly. I mean, out of control. I mean, you're going to have they're going to be paying so much money for ad time on prime time Monday, Monday night or Sunday night games. It'll be crazy. But and I tell you what, man, watching the now I know this is different. But watching the UFC over this past weekend with no fans, it made me realize that I don't watch sports for the fans. Like, I'm watching for what's going on. Like, I don't.
Do you think it was weird?
That,
you didn't think it was a little weird? I thought it was kind of weird.
It was a little weird just because of the fact that my man was getting choked out, and you get like hear him. I literally sat here. I pointed at the screen, going, "He's dying! He's dying!"
Like normally you don't hear that. You don't hear that at all.
Right.
Because the crowd's just roaring, right?
Right, but that's a different, that's a different aspect, different way of looking at it. But like I realized, but that's also another point. I realized in that time the other stuff that you recognize. So like it's not. I think it would get old after a while. Like I would love to see the fans come back, but if we got to start the year, with no fans for a couple of weeks, I'm not going to give a shit.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, I would rather have football without fans than not have football,
Right.
Obviously, I feel like it's going to affect the game. It's going to be the weirdest thing ever, I mean, like these guys have, think about it. Like they probably had more, even when they're playing Pee Wee football, there's people in the stands, right?
They got somebody.
There's somebody in the stands, but I don't know.
Well, that brings me to another point. They have some proposal going around. I don't know how official this is. This could just be, internet mumbo jumbo. But saying about how they'll let 10,000 fans in. Like 10, but what, like what? Like that
how do you select that?
Well, how do you do that? Like one, and then like where's the fun in that? You're gonna be sitting away from, like you're not high-fiving people around you, It's just so different. Now, my proposal is this.
Okay.
My proposal is every single fan that is a season ticket owner for every team, if the season goes to start where they say no fans.
Okay.
I think every single season ticket holder should have the option of sending in an audition tape to the team, and then they pick for every game like 8 people, and it's one fan for each team. And they put them on the opposite sidelines, mic them up if you want, give them the bullhorn. I don't care.
They battle to the death.
And no, they don't battle. They just talk smack to each other with a bullhorn, like back and forth, and like mic them up to put them on TV or something. Like I'm saying, send an audition tape so we get some funny people. Like I don't want nose up in 629.
What's wrong with nose, bro? Nose.
I don't want nose up from 629 getting a bullhorn. And go, Saints, go.
Nose, baby. Come on.
Nose. But anyway, yeah, that's my proposal is that. Just have 2 guys or gals, whoever it is, children. I don't care if they're funny and they can talk a little bit of smack. Put them on the opposite side of the Superdome or wherever they're playing. Right. Give them a bullhorn, mic them up, and let's see what happens. Let's add some more entertainment to this. Let's see what we can do. But that's my proposal for the COVID. Give me one fan.
I mean, I don't really know what they could do. I mean, even 10,000 fans, I think you still have to, give everyone temperature exams before they go in, require masks and hand sanitizer, all that, I think like logistically that still would be a nightmare, even 10,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a headache, but they could staff it enough to handle it, but I just don't see that. It's just none of that makes sense to me. Like, because you're going to have to staff the dome, right, with people to get them whatever they want. Like, are you going to serve food? Like,
right. Yeah.
So it just doesn't. I'd rather see them go no fans and not even worry about the hassle of that than to have to go through this whole process of figuring out how they're going to get 10,000 fans in. Because all that does is just add more. That's another thing to figure out, It's like another thing for them to try to figure out. It cause more time to lag on with them decision-making wise. So screw it. I just say no fans or no fans. Let's play some football.
Yeah.
Let's play some football.
I just want to see football. Yeah. I really don't care really at this point. I mean, obviously as a season ticket holder, would be very disappointing, especially like if this is Drew Brees' last season. I would, that's crush my soul, to have to watch it all on TV, But
That's another aspect of this whole situation. Like, man, if this is Drew's last year, it sucks, and especially because now we got Brady in the division.
I know.
Like, God, it's just
terrible.
Hey, it's almost right. Even if he doesn't win, but has like a good season, it's riding off into the sunset-esque, like, even if we don't get the Super Bowl, if he goes out and has another 4,500-yard year, but then that also like makes me think, like, if he goes out and dominates like that, he signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So I mean,
dude, I think it's up to him. It's up to him, man. It's not really. I don't think it's the Saints. The Saints are not kicking him out the door anytime soon. It's whenever he wants to.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like if he really, 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 really wanted this to be his last year, it would have been a 1-year deal. He gave himself. It's a player option without it being a player option.
I think it had a lot to do with the cap space. It's spreading out his cap hit over 2 years.
That's true too. God damn it. Had to be logical.
No, I mean, it's just how Mickey operates. He kicks the can all the time. It's just
Magic Mickey does it again.
You know how he does it.
So yeah. So I mean, I guess this year you're gonna with all the uncertainty, like, why not throw some rule changes out there?
Yeah.
Maybe kick the can on some rule changes. And this brings me to Producer Pete's next topic here. XFL RIP.
Yeah, for real.
I'm really sad to see it go, man. I mean, this thing really screwed it up. I think they had actually something that was – I watched a couple games. They were fun.
Yeah. It was better than the AFL,
Yes. Oh, God, that joke. I mean, that was even the stepbrother to the original XFL. Like, the original XFL, that AFL was just so vanilla and so bland. Nobody had any interest in that. But no, with the XFL had some fun rule changes that I think the NFL is really going to look at, because one, is really innovative, and two, they did this yet again when the XFL was around the first time. They stole some rules, well, not stole, or implemented some rules that the XFL previously had it. Ooh, excuse me, COVID. So, brings me to, what rules do you think would be the most beneficial for the NFL to implement from the XFL?
In my opinion, I don't know. I guess the extra point system in the NFL right now, I mean, I guess I'm okay with it. Them moving it back a few yards did create, I guess, a little bit more uncertainty about whether or not the kicker is going to make it or not. But
make
I still
the fucking kick.
Right, but I still think the percentage is like still pretty high. Like, still, it's a pretty easy kick for most kickers to make, right? So, like, I think that maybe we should make it a little more challenging for extra points, just like, the XFL decided to, right? So you get, the rules where you get 1 point if you run a play from the 2-yard line and score, right? 2 points from the 5-yard line and score, 3 points from the 10-yard line and score, right? So I think that could make games a lot more interesting.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, that was one of my favorite things about it. The fact that you can score down 9 and have a shot,
Right. You actually have a legitimate chance, right? It's
you have a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's the fact, I mean, it's a 10-yard play, and I mean, everybody knows watching football, the shorter the field, the harder it is to convert.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, it's a 2-yard, run, that's a little different. But shorten the field down inside the red zone. That 10-yard one play is so exciting.
Dude,
it's so exciting.
It's so challenging too. What do you call that? What are you doing?
Almost anything can work in that situation. You have every offense in their playbook has 50 fucking plays that'll get 10 yards.
Right? Exactly.
Like as big as these playbooks are now, like, you have surefire 10-yard plays that if you call it against the right defense, you're getting 10 yards every time.
Right.
But it's also, that's the chess match of football. You got the defense over there doing this. That 10-yard three-point play was literally my favorite, like watching an XFL game. That was my favorite point, to where it could make or absolutely break a team in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool too, because I listened to Sean Payton talk about his strategy on 2-point conversions, right? From like the 2-yard line or whatever. And so it would force him, because he said the way he said, hold on.
Use your words.
You have to cut this.
No, don't cut that shit out.
So basically, he was saying that he might have maybe 1 or 2 plays drawn up, for this 2-yard play, right? And the chances are you're either going to use it on a 4th down, or you're going to use it for a 2-point conversion, right? And so if you want to try to save your best one, obviously, for later in the game, because if you don't get a 4th down and you do end up with a 2-point conversion, that you need to make, then you want to have that play. You don't want to run that play already, because, you'll run on that same formation again for the second time, and they already know what the fuck is up, right?
Right.
So it would make it more challenging for coaches to have to come up with these little plays, little short 5-yard plays or 2-yard plays, or like you said, like a little 10-yard play for 3 points. I think it would just add a different flavor to the end of games, it would make it more challenging.
Make it fantastic. And like I said, football's a chess match. Every time it means something. Like if you go for too early in the game, that's gonna break down the end of the game for you. Like it's just every little thing matters. Football's a game of inches, as they say, or as Al Pacino said in Any Given Sunday.
That's the football.
I mean, that's a quote, man. That's a quote from Al Pacino.
Yeah,
fantastic. Steaming while they're beaming. Good shit. Well, all right, brother, man. I mean, Well, no, I didn't give my pick.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, tell me
what the hell is wrong with me? It is too early to be this drunk. I had some glasses of wine here. All right, my pick would actually be, again, with the scoring. It's the overtime scoring rules. Okay. It's every time they score in overtime, you have to go for 2. It's none of this bullshit kicking a field goal. Every time you score, you got to go for 2, and it's going to be over with. It's almost like a little bit of a walk off. I mean, that's again, it makes it more exciting. You
got to take a risk.
You have to make this play. You have to make this play to either go ahead or stay alive. It's just the overtime scoring. That's another good one. But yeah, I mean, the scoring is the biggest part that I really enjoyed. Everybody really liked the kickoffs.
Yeah,
you know how they can't do that. I was okay with it, but the way that they do it is, I do think this. I still don't like it completely, because they're not returning it unless they do like some type of trick play. Everybody's too close. I don't think the lanes open up. I don't think the lanes have time to open up for them. I think you have to absolutely be lucky to return a kick. They did return one this year. They did have a return. Yeah. But I really hate the NFLs, because these kickers just kick it out the back of the end zone mostly now. I know that they try to tell them, try to pin them so they have to bring it out, but it's just it's so much easier for them just to kick the hell out of it and out the back of the end zone. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, it's a good idea, but I still think it needs some tweaks. And that was kind of like my honorable mention change that they can look at. Like maybe take a template of what they're doing and kind of put your great or whatever NFL minds you have over there to try to figure it out and make it perfect. But yeah, I think the scoring, the extra points and the overtime scorings are just fantastic for the game. And I think football games are long enough. And, I don't want to see them end in a friggin' tie. Because, they have that, they have the rule now. It's only one overtime, 10 minutes. And I don't want to see them end in a tie. I'd rather it be let's put the scoring in place to where we have a winner.
Right.
So, and that's mine. That's my pick.
I would say one other thing also that the XFL did, and I think the AFL did this as well, was like letting us into the replay booth, letting us hear what's going on. Because, like, man, I cannot stand Al Riveron. Like, I wish I could just get my hands around his throat sometimes. But I would love to, like, fucking hear in, what he's talking about. Because I would just love to hear his bullshit, in real time. Not after he's had, like, however many hours to write his fucking response, his apology for why they fucked up or whatever. I would love to, like, have the pressure on him in real time with a camera, crew, or whatever the fuck we have to do. Just have some transparency there in that process,
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. Okay. So off field, that is, yes, absolutely number one. That's fantastic.
Right.
Because XFL, I mean, they were interviewing players on the sidelines after they were throwing interceptions.
Dude. And like dudes that are just like jacked up on adrenaline, like put a microphone in their face.
They got Landry Jones throwing 5 picks in a game and they're throwing a mic in his face on the sidelines. What? You got Pat McAfee busting your balls.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh, man. That would be, I mean, obviously they never allowed that, but no, that was fun.
I think Cam Jordan was on the sidelines even.
He was on one of them. Yeah, they had a couple players on there too. Man, that's funny. So, man, RIP to the XFL, man. I thought that
seriously.
I thought they had a fun little thing going, man. I enjoyed it. Like, I wasn't tuning into every game, but like sitting around, Saturday afternoon, pop open a beer or something, put on the XFL. Shit.
Honestly, I think it's just great to have some other league to,
It's always good. It's always good to have competition.
Yeah,
it's always good
to
have
the NFL honest. Yeah, keep the NFL honest a little bit, because I feel like they've gotten so complacent. I feel like they don't need to give us fans really the same sort of experience that maybe some of these other companies that are new and they're trying to catch us. You know what's
ironic about that is the fact that Vince McMahon ran the XFL, and like Vince McMahon is the NFL of wrestling,
right?
And so he's complacent in what he's doing over there at WWE, and then all of a sudden this AEW comes out of the works, and it's a guy, and it's one of his top guys' sons that he fired, and it's almost like weird. It's just I don't know. It's he got another basically WWE, AEW, XFL, NFL.
You want to talk about that stuff? We're gonna have Big Lee on anytime you want, man.
We're gonna have a WrestleMania. We have a WrestleMania podcast when it gets closer.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all right, brother. I think that's good enough for today.
Yeah, I agree.
That was fun, man. All right, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Shit. See you later.
Hope everyone stays safe, man. Like I said, stay masked up, stay gassed up. Season's getting close. Let's go.
Masked up and gassed up.
Masked up and gassed up. Gotta stay excited. Because you never know.
I think we just found the name of our episode.
That's it, dude. Masked up and gassed up, dude. I'm telling you, stay safe out there, people.
All right, Ron. Catch y'all later.
Later.
Peace.